I cut fast. Deserts, mosaics, mountains, bazaars, faces, 5 seconds of chaos and beauty to pull you in. This is one of the most misunderstood yet breathtaking countries in the world, and I want you to see it with me, up close, unfiltered. The camera moves like a heartbeat. Close on hands bargaining over spices, quick drone pulls over domes, warp speed pass through a market. You feel the city breathe. I arrived expecting an image and found 1,000 contradicting realities. Silk rugs stacked like color, ancient stones whispering empire, teenagers on rooftops filming sunset with phones. There's this tension here between the ancient and the immediate, and that tension is electric. Today is a countdown. 10 places, 10 stories, each one a different note in Iran's huge, complicated symphony. I'm not selling a postcard, I'm handing you a map, a camera, a memory. Let's start at number 10, and work our way to the places that will make you want to book a ticket tomorrow. I land in Tehran, and the city hits me like a warm wave. The skyline is a collage of glass, concrete, interrupted by the proud, lonely silhouette of Azadi Tower. Walk with me down the streets where scooters weave like schools of fish, and murals scream color against gray. The Grand Bazaar is a sensory overload. Voices, metal clinking, piles of saffron, and carpets rolled like sleeping giants. Inside the bazaar, time compresses. Generations meet over tea. Shopkeepers tell the same jokes their fathers told. Decades of patience in one swipe. Nearby, coffee shops host young artists and startups plotting the city's future. Tehran is a living paradox. I stand at Azadi Tower as the sun slips behind it, and the whole city seems to inhale. Ambition everywhere, capital and refuge, museum and madman. The reconciliations, kids under reflected glass, old women folding herbs in alleyways. The bazaar's shadow, the tower's echo, the cafes serving late-night soup. The first note in Iran's soundtrack. I wake before dawn in Isfahan. Naqsh Jahan Square opens like a slow breath. The morning light here is a secret you can't afford to miss. The Imam Mosque glows with tiles that look ancient and futuristic. Step closer, blue mosaics, gold mosaics, patterns that make your eyes swim. There's a precision here that borders on obsession. Artisans perfecting geometry in glaze. Walking the square feels like moving through a living painting. People sip chai, kids chase pigeons. At sunrise, the dome catches light. Tiles shift as if the sky repaints them. I feel the weight of time, a place where silence has texture and history hums. Caretakers tell tile stories. Tiny repairs keep this place breathing. Every arch has rhythm. Every courtyard a soft echo of past conversations. A lesson in scale and patience, grand in architecture, quiet in presence. You leave with your neck sore from looking up and your head full of color. Beauty made a public act. Shiraz is two beats at once. The echo of empire at Persepolis, the tender, surreal light inside Nasir al-Mulk. Columns stand like giants whispering about kings, sacrifices, conquest. Walk the stone terraces and feel history's shadow. I run my hand along reliefs. Imagine the hands that chiseled them, the voices that filled these halls. Then the pink mosque, where light behaves like a painter. Step inside at morning. The floor becomes stained glass. Columns and carpets fracture into kaleidoscopes. People move slowly here, don't breathe too loudly. Colored light hits faces. Strangers become fairy tales. Outside, Shiraz breathes. Gardens, poets. Here Hafez under a plane tree. Tea houses as confessionals. Gardens where time slips. The city blends the monumental and the intimate, proud and gentle at once. From Persepolis's austere power to the mosque's playful light, the loud, the quiet, both leave you speechless. Yazd appears like a mirage that refused to leave. All mud brick alleys and wind catchers reaching skyward. Architecture as survival, passive cooling sculpted into beauty, chimneys that look like sculptures. A hushed city holding Zoroastrian heritage, guarded fire, towers of silence, rituals weathered by centuries. At dusk, domes and minarets pool into an ochre ocean. The silence is full of small lives in cool shadow. Kashan feels like an old diary. Carved doors, geometric courtyards, gardens smelling of orange blossom. Secret lives, wind-cooled rooms, stained glass, staircases to quiet terraces. Centuries layered like sediment, patterns that repeat, hands that built, smiles lingering on tiled benches. Abyane is a living clay village, narrow alleys, elders as anchors, faces matching the village color. Continuity held in presence. Here, architecture feels like someone you can talk to. Travel matters not to tick boxes, but to sit in a courtyard and learn ordinary. A cup of tea, a hallway's light, a child's laugh. The Lut Desert is a place extreme enough to change time. Calots like petrified rivers frozen in sand. Standing next to them shrinks you in the best way. Sunrise turns black rock into gold, then back into shadow. The scale cinematic, the silence total. It feels like the planet shows you a private room. Solitude that humbles. Driving in, the radio goes quiet. The horizon stretches. Human traces disappear. Nights are brutal and breathtaking. Stars so thick they feel invasive. A milky band almost touchable. Harsh sculptures of wind and salt. Landscapes made for awe, not comfort. Walk at first light and you understand why explorers whisper. If you need a reset, the Lut gives it. Scale dissolves petty problems. Silence edits your thoughts. Otherworldly, terrifying and tender, a song you only half remember. Mount Damavand rises like a promise. Snow-capped and dignified, a pilgrimage for hikers, a symbol in Persian poetry. At base camp, morning fog peels back. The world becomes a series of climbing decisions. The ascent is a test. Cold, thin air. And the sense the summit will rearrange what you thought was permanent. The Alborz offers stitched panoramas. Ridgelines, valleys like a torn map reassembled. Provinces rolled beneath you. Your phone map feels laughably small. Hikers trade stories, share dried fruit, and jokes around a single flame. Rugged and communal. Climbing here is humility in motion. Every step demands attention. Loose scree, shifting weather. When you crest a ridge, the triumph isn't loud. It's the quiet intake of a breath that says, I was here. Beauty beyond architecture. It lives in cold air, aching calves, and the shared triumph of feeling small and infinite. Well, you know, that's how it feels. Tabriz hits you with commerce and craft in the same breath. The historic bazaar is a continent. Vaulted ceilings, labyrinth aisles, trades passed down for centuries. Weavers sit like musicians. Fingers tie a visual language that translates not into narrative. You can smell dye and tea and leather. The place vibrates with purposeful sound. Beyond the stalls, a cultural crossroads. Azerbaijani flavors and Persian traditions braided together. Bold food, faster feet in the music, tea with sugar cubes on the side. Repetition becomes meditation. Tradition becomes new with every finished fringe. The bazaar is not a museum, a living factory of identity, humming with people making their lives. Borders don't contain culture. Voices from both sides of history. The bazaar as amplifier. Loud, messy, necessary. Trade builds community. Iran's coastline is a study in contrast. From Hormuz's candy-colored cliffs, to Keshm's geological oddities, to the Caspian's green beaches. On Hormuz I hike reds, oranges, shocking pinks. Like a painter's mood swing. Locals carve cliff stones and sell part souvenir, part story. Keshem has its own laws. Salt plains, mangrove forests, caves that hold strange light. By boat through Hormuz Strait, the coast flips from basalt to soft sand. The Caspian flips the script. Verdant trees, humid air, beaches where families picnic and life slows. These coasts carry different moods, playful, contemplative, communal. Water translates landscape to culture, shaping food and pace of life. Bring a camera, a walking stick, and an appetite for seafood. The coast will reward your curiosity. If you want the truest map of a place, follow your stomach. Iranian food is intimate and dramatic. Saffron gold rice, smoky kebabs, stews that simmer stories. Hands slide warm bread into foil. Skewers flip over coals. Steam rises like an invitation. Eating is communal. You share a plate, a joke, sometimes a name you won't forget. Tea houses slow time with a glass of dark tea and conversation that drifts like smoke. Hands steady, pours precise sugar cubes, and polite disputes. Ceramic shops add texture, glazed bowls, hand-painted plates, pottery shaped by touch. Hospitality is structural. Strangers invite you in, feed you, protect you, and insist you return. Warmth embedded in rhythm. Greetings, bargaining, tea offered without question. After domes and deserts, the simplest things, a plate, a cup, a seat at a stranger's table, are what will stay with you. Iran's hospitality will surprise you in ways headlines never could. We started with rapid cuts and ended with small moments. the patient eyes of a weaver, the hush of a mosque, the salt of desert air. I came with a camera and left with shared stories. Travel rearranges, the furniture of your mind.